This episode of Careers That Matter, I'm joined by Chris Sankey, the CEO and president of Blackfish Enterprises. Chris, you have a fabulous and fascinating career story, but let's first of all talk about what your current job is. How do you describe what you do?
Well, thanks, Stuart. I really appreciate being on your show. Look, I call myself a glorified salesman, but my job is to build relationships with Indigenous stakeholders from the industry, energy industry, and government affairs. And what I do is I help facilitate strategic initiatives to bring both government, industry, and First Nation at the table to negotiate a path forward on resource-based projects. And I'm very blessed to be surrounded by some of the most progressive Indigenous leaders that are in Canada today, and at the same time be blessed to be surrounded by some of the most sophisticated energy leaders in the world. And I'm a part of that. And I'm every day I'm very thankful that it's definitely changed my life. It has been able to provide a good living for my family, and I also have amazing business partners.
So on a day-to-day basis, are you meeting with people, and is it in person? Is it virtually? And then what else do you do?
All of the above.
Yeah.
All of the above. My day is spent on the phone. It was funny, the other day, my youngest daughter was home, and I was on the phone all day or on Zoom all day, and then I had to run out. And she said, "Dad, I was so annoyed by you because you didn't stop talking all day." And that's a big piece of my job, is providing advice, getting documents together, and agreements, and looking for a path forward for communities to work with industry. It's just a lot of fun solving problems that nobody wanted to touch. And I've always been one that wanted to go. I've always been the one who wants to run into the fire to solve problems.
So tell me a little bit about Blackfish Enterprises.
Again, it's a consultancy firm, company that helps negotiate, facilitate, and provide strategic advice to Indigenous leaders and industry leaders on how best to win projects at Tidewater and along the economic corridor, and as well as helping communities build capacity, whether it be their administration, their finance, forestry, fisheries. I'm just here to help. And if I don't have the resources to do it, I will look outside of Blackfish Enterprises for those that have the expertise required for the specific project that might be proposed.
You're also a fellow of the Macdonald-Laurier Institute. What does that role encompass?
Well, I'm a part of the National Indigenous Think Tank. We help. I'm very blessed to be surrounded with fellows like Ken Coates and the team at MLI, Brian Lee Crowley, Heather Exner-Perot. The list goes on, and we help influence policy that comes out from the federal government, any issues pertaining to Indigenous communities or Canada as a whole, when it comes to the economy, when it comes to health, when it comes to human rights. As you're probably aware, I'm very outspoken about the rights for people of all color to have a voice and to have a place to live in Canada that's free of racism, that's free of poverty, and the right to live and breathe here in this country. And I'm really blessed to have a voice at that platform, and that Macdonald-Laurier gives me that opportunity. And at the same time, I write op-eds on specific issues that impact and issues that impact First Nation communities. I'm just so blessed that every day I tell people that I'm surrounded by people that are smarter than me, and that just has elevated my knowledge on everything that I've done. And I can't thank it enough. And I have 3 beautiful children. I have a family that supports me. My kid is 19 now, and he said, I asked him one day, I said, "My boy, what is it that you want to do?" And he said, "I want to do what you want to do." And I went, "Oh my gosh." I said, "There could be only one idiot in this household." So I want him to do well, but he's got to learn to crawl before he could run. So I'm trying to mentor him any way I can. He's now living in a different city with his girlfriend, and it is definitely a big change. And I just want to see the kids do well.
So, Chris, let's go back to when you were younger. When you were in high school, could you ever have imagined the career that you have now?
No, I didn't. But a friend of mine's late father, God bless him. He was such an incredible man. A guy named Bob Quast, Jeremy Quast, who I played high school basketball with. When I was about 17 or so, we were playing basketball in our local community gym here, and he had said that he always pictured me being a corporate lawyer, and I didn't see that. I actually thought I was going to be a teacher or I was going to be a social worker. I didn't even envision that, and he had said that to me in 1991, I believe it was, and I just kind of was dumbfounded when he made that comment to me because I honestly didn't see it. And it wasn't until about 10 or so years ago that I started to see what he knew all along, what many people knew all along before I did. And even the community I grew up in saw more potential in me than I did. But the one common denominator for me was that at a young age, I always felt that I wanted to do something bigger. I wanted to do something bigger. I just didn't know what it was yet. But I knew I wanted it to be bigger than me.
So, what were some of those first jobs that you had when you got started working?
Oh my gosh, anywhere from cutting grass to digging ditches to just laboring work. I learned a lot just being a laborer. If you're going to be a janitor, be the best janitor you can be. I say that to my son, like whatever job you take on, make sure it's the most important job in your life. Take it as the most important job of your life. Like if you're going to be a janitor, treat it like you're the CEO of that janitor job because it's just as important. And if you could keep that mindset, and then when you're done your job, look for something else to do. If there's any advice I could give to the younger generation, that just because you have a list of duties to do in your job, when you complete them, look for something else to do because that shows the employer incentive that you're motivated to grow within the company. And who knows, they may pay for your education or trade with that company. And so be the best possible asset to the company that you're going to work for, because one day that knowledge can turn into self-employment.
So would you say that that was the most important characteristic that you possess that helped move you forward into newer and better opportunities?
I think, Stuart, like many people, I grew up in poverty. It was really tough for my late father and my late mother to provide. I lost both my parents, one at a younger age and another one when I was adult. But I've always had that drive to want to do something bigger. It's really hard to explain. I've always had the drive to want to do something bigger and better than something bigger that I've never even thought of until now. Everything from sports. I was very competitive in sports as a point guard. I had to be, being a person who's barely 5'8". I was able to yank on the rim, and I had to be a defensive demon in order to be competitive at the next level, and that's what I did. So I kind of live by the slogan: "It's not how big you are, it's how big you play." And I've taken those fundamentals from my two coaches growing up, Coach Mel Bishop of the high school and my community coach Mel Green. That if you work just as hard, if not greater in practice, the real thing will become that much easier. And I'm very blessed to have that. Along with our heavy civil construction company, Blackfish Industries, I'm blessed to be surrounded by some of the smartest guys in that industry, heavy civil. Shout out to my boys, Stuart Ramsey, Kyle Cathelli, and Cam Fellows. You guys are awesome to work with. And like I said, I'm super blessed. I'm very happy.
Okay, one last question here. How important is a sense that what you would like to achieve is possible? In other words, how important is self-confidence?
It's everything. You should be able to walk into a room and know that you could own the room. And it all boils down to how you believe in yourself. Believe in yourself first before anybody else believes in you. because at the end of the day, it's only you that's going to help you get through those tough times. It's nice to have that family support. Don't get me wrong. It's everything as well. But you got to be able to believe in yourself when nobody else will. And no matter how difficult times get, tough times builds resilience and it builds strong people. And don't ever give up. If there's anything, any advice I could give to the younger generation, don't ever give up on your dream, no matter how hard, no matter how tough, no matter how many obstacles that keep getting thrown at you. And you're gonna receive thousands of obstacles thrown at you. You're gonna have hundreds of doors closed on you. You're gonna have hundreds of people tell you it's a bad idea. But as long as you believe in yourself first, everything else will come secondary. Take care of yourself so you can take care of your family. Take care of yourself so you can take care of your kids. Take care of yourself so you can take care of your grandkids. And then that legacy will be left behind. And that's the best message I could possibly give to the younger generations. Just don't ever quit. Don't ever give up, and just keep moving forward.
It's a great message. Chris, congratulations on an evolving and continuing, wonderful career. Thanks for just giving us a little insight into the work you do and how you got there.
Thank you so much.